Howdy. Were you enjoying the music? Unfortunately, I'm gonna interrupt your fun music time so I can chit chat with you because I wanted to talk to somebody about all my interests and such. But my roommate's not here right now, so here, let me turn on the light for you so you can see what we're doing. All right, so yeah, we have to stay quiet because I can't be having the neighbors getting all suspicious again. Ever since earlier in the week, you had to be yelling and shit, and so this is really your fault. If you had just been quiet earlier, then this could be a conversation. But instead, you had to misbehave. So that's fine. You'll just be misbehaving. But that's okay, because I can still chit chat plenty with you right here. And something I want to talk about first is the fact that, so when I'm at work, I get very hungry. I get real hungry because I don't really bring enough food for lunch, because it's just easier that way. I don't want to have to eat a lot while I'm at work. But that does mean that when I come home, I want snacks. And so I got home today and I ate too many Cheetos because they were very tasty, and now I'm worried that I won't have enough of an appetite for dinner today. But that's okay. I'll figure it out, I'm sure. And push comes to shove, I'll just eat too much food. Fun fact, actually, so I like the Cheetos that are jalapeno. They're like jalapeno and baked. And I like those better than normal Cheetos because the cheese doesn't get all over your fingers quite as much. But I had the thought, I think, you know what I would like to buy? I wish I could just purchase Cheetos without any cheese dust. Just like a chip, a wafery, shitty chip with no flavoring on it. A vanilla Cheeto. That's what I want. I want to try those. And I don't know if I would want to eat a whole bag, but I'd like to. So they should get on top of that. But I often tend to like the vanilla versions of things like Cheerios. I don't eat Honey Nut Cheerios. I like vanilla, boring Cheerios. Quite frankly, if I accidentally purchase Honey Nut Cheerios, I get annoyed at how much flavor there is. I just like my food to be bland, I suppose. So, but that's besides the point. Let's talk about that music. The music that I was playing for you is from Jay Schlatt and Ludwig, and it's Animal Crossing flavored. Isn't that neato? I wish I had cooler BGM sometimes, but I'm just glad I was able to figure out how to make a playlist actually work, because for a long time, I couldn't make a playlist because I was stupid, and so I had to just automatically start a new song every time I wanted to play a different song. So, but I figured out how playlists work. And speaking of music, do you know about Project Sekai? So Project Sekai, it's a Vocaloid game. It's a rhythm game. And so the point of the game is, it's just a normal old rhythm game. I like it quite a lot. I like it a lot better than the one on the PlayStation, because playing a rhythm game on the PlayStation kind of feels like being forced to walk with your shoes on the wrong foot. Like, it's clearly not intended to be played with a normal PlayStation controller. So, but it's just much better on the phone. There's a part of me, I'd like to get a tablet. I want to get a tablet so I can do art especially, and I'm really torn. If I get a tablet, then I'll be able to play Project Sekai on the tablet, and the cutscenes will be so big and pretty, and it'll actually have battery life, and that's cool, and so I wish I could do that. But on the other hand, I am much better at playing the game with my thumbs on a phone versus like with my middle fingers in tablet mode on a bigger screen. So that's the kind of duality of it, is I don't think I can have the game on both consoles, so I'd have to pick phone or tablet, and I think I'd pick phone, even though it really nukes my battery sometimes. They recently released the song that it's for Vivid Bad Squad. That's one of the groups, and it completely just drains my battery playing the music video for that one, which is a shame because something I like to do, because I'm a loser. So there's all these human characters and also the Vocaloids. We'll talk about them in a little bit. Oh, I've been cut. I've obtained a boo-boo. I bet that's from one of the cats. Anyway, so yeah, Project Sekai. There's all these human characters, and they're in these teams, and that's the story, and that's fun and neato. But the important part that I like to do is I've rearranged the human characters so that they're color coded. It's like all the characters with dark hair are together, and all the characters with red and pink hair are together, and I've made my own little groups, and I like to attribute music videos to them because I am a loser. And so that's what I like to do. And there's a part of me that wants to share that with somebody, but I don't think even Allison would care. So it's just us doing my own thing. But about those Vocaloids, it's pretty important. Obviously, the Vocaloids is the big, like, draw for the game. Like, oh my gosh, it's Hatsune Miku, and then also some original characters. And at first, even I myself, I wasn't reading the story at first. I didn't care. I was like, I'm just here for good old rhythm game fun, playing good music, and having a grand old time. But I actually, like, I didn't know how to skip the cutscenes. I was, like, smashing through them because it's a visual novel. So I was tapping through it as quickly as I could. But inevitably, I ended up reading some of the dialogue, and I was like, well, hang on, wait a minute, what's happening? And that was fun. So then that's how I got into the story, actually, and I learned that the characters are really great and swell. I think a lot of people don't play the story mode or like read it, and I think they ought to, or at least, you know what someone should do? There's a really untapped potential for someone basically going over the story for the main story and then all the events in like videos. That could be neato. And there's a part of me that thinks, oh, well, I could do that. If there's an untapped potential for that, I could do that. The problem is, it would have to be optimally happening, like, as the events go out, you know? You don't want to be all behind. And I don't trust myself to do anything in that short amount of time when I've got my room in the back rooms. So, you know, that's my favorite group is Vivid Bad Squad. They're the hip hop one. I didn't think they'd be my favorite. I've never said that I don't hate rap by any means, but I never thought it would be my favorite one. But I like their music the most, especially. So that's really fun and cool. You know something about it? So it's all Vocaloid music. There are some English songs, obviously. Vocaloids are worldwide, but so there are some English ones, but most of them are in Japanese, and that's the thing. I'd like to sing, I think. I've been practicing singing when, like, I do the dishes, or, just if Allison's not home, wouldn't want to bother her. So I've been practicing singing, and the problem is I just like to listen to Japanese songs, and so I can't really sing along with them properly because I don't know all the lyrics. There are some that I'm better at than others, but at the end of the day, I still don't know the lyrics. So I've been practicing. I'd like to sing more. It's tough. I've got very poor health, or no, like breath control. I run out of my breath real quick. So that's a real problem. Something I'd like to sing is I want to do Portal, and at the end of the game, there's the song that she sings. Still Alive, and I know that one, and I'd like to sing that, like, on stream while I play Portal. The problem is, the woman who voices GLaDOS is an opera singer. Like, she is trained to do opera, and the big thing about opera is the fact that you need to use so much breath. They hold their notes for so long, and not to mention, I mean, it's probably edited too since she's playing a robot, but I really run out of oxygen trying to sing at the proper tempo of Still Alive, but I think it could still be a fun one. So that's something that I've been thinking about an awful lot lately, is how I'd like to sing, and yeah, singing along with gibberish things. You know, I ought to be streaming right now, but if I were to stream, I like to think that I'd put chat right next to your head, so then it looks like your thoughts. You see what I'm saying? It's like you're thinking what they're saying, see? At work today, my manager, you all know, so you know that one of my managers checks in on my streams sometimes, and he really doesn't watch them all that often, but he's following me, so he knows when I stream. But he wasn't there yesterday, and I told him that every time I'm streaming, I forget he watches me. But then after stream, I remember, oh yeah, my manager watches me sometimes. And then I have to sit there and think, fuck, what did I say? What did I say on stream? I may have really embarrassed myself. But he's chill. And I told him that the big thing from yesterday's stream, it was Ocarina of Time. The big thing from yesterday's stream was that was we talked about whether or not Ganondorf from that game was Smash or Pass, and he said Smash, and I was like, that's what I'm saying. So it is the rule. We all agree that Ocarina of Ganon is Smash. Quite frankly, if I'm being honest, no, I'm not reading off a script. If I'm being honest, I don't think there's a single. I don't think there's a single Ganondorf that I'd pass on. I think my least favorite is Wind Waker, but he's still Smash. Just don't like the outfit all that much. So, yeah, the big thing about my manager is the thing is I do know who he is in chat. He isn't in chat very often. But if he were to appear in chat, I would recognize him, and I'm torn. There's a part of me that thinks it would be a very funny bit to be, oh, guys, that one, that's my manager. Everyone say hi to manager. But there's the rest of me that recognizes that my chat is embarrassing, and they would embarrass me. He would be inundated with questions, and it'd be questions like, do you know that Twiins is a sadist? And it's like, stop. Stop. So that's the big thing that keeps me from pointing at my manager if he were to show up in chat, is because I know that my chat cannot behave properly. So that is the big thing of it. So Pokemon, I want to talk about Pokemon too. So in Pokemon, first of all, do you think there are too many Pokemon? It's a real question to ask now because there's like over 1,000, and it's like, obviously I don't think we're ever gonna have a full dex again, ever in a Pokemon game, because to have over 1,000 Pokemon available, it's just unnecessary. And I think people who get too upset about a lack of full Pokedex, I think they're living in a dream world. And the thing is, it's always, but what about, I want to be able to use my favorite Pokemon. You have used them. And I'm sorry, honey, you're gonna have to use a different Pokemon sometimes. You can't just use your favorite water-type Pokemon Poliwhirl until the end of time. Sometimes you're gonna have to fucking use even just another Kanto Pokemon. You don't have to like all the new Pokemon, but that's another thing. I think I think that people are so like, ooh, booey hooey hoo about new Pokemon designs, and I think they're just being grumpy and old, because that's the thing, is always, it's always, yeah, the next generation comes out and suddenly, oh, you know what, yeah. But when Black and White came out, people were like, this one's bad and terrible. But now, you get to Sword and Shield and people were like, Black and White is the best one. They made that one and then they stopped making good games. And it's like, fuck off. Everyone hated it when it first came out for no good reason. So I think people are just being stubborn and grumpy and easily forget that every Pokemon game is going to be somebody's first Pokemon game. So just shut up. But there's another thing I want to say. So some people have theorized on the idea of adding a sound type, and I really don't think it's necessary. I think all the types are evenly balanced, and I don't think adding a new type at this point could really enhance the gameplay of Pokemon. So personally, I would skew away from that. And Fairy is the reason why. It's because Fairy really leveled the playing field by being good against what it's good against and weak against what it's weak against. It's not perfect, obviously. Ice is weak to damn near everything, and it's only really strong against two things. So, we We just don't need another type, I don't think. That's the big problem with it. So, but that's the other. There's another thing I've seen. I've seen people uh, uh, posit the idea that Pokemon should have 3 types, and I posit that that is the stupidest idea someone could possibly have. Like, it's already so complex trying to remember what types or do what against what other types. I've been playing Pokemon since I was like in the womb. it's been eons since I first started playing Pokemon. I've stayed in Pokemon, like I never fell out of it and came back. I've been involved in this community since the dawn of time, and even I recently learned that Steel is weak to ground type. And it's like, huh? So, no, adding a third type, I think that'd be a terrible idea. Because you add a third type, and then things get fucking completely off the rails. So you got like, let's pretend we've got a flying ice type Pokemon. And your Pokemon is a fire type Pokemon. Well, hey, fire is super effective against against ice. Easy peasy, nothing to worry about. But now let's pretend it's a flying ice water Pokemon. Well, fire is good against ice, but it's weak to water, and it's neutral to flying. So what the fuck even? And what if that's just if you have a monotype Pokemon? If we got a flying ice water type Pokemon on the other side of the field, and we're using a fire electric ground Pokemon, like at that point you just start spamming whatever thing happens to have the highest attack stat, because everything ends up feeling neutral at that point. So no, I think a third type in Pokemon is the stupidest thing people have come up with, and I can't believe how many people I've seen who are like really positing that that's a cool idea. I'm like, maybe if you hate yourself, I don't even think it would result in cool like designs. So it's just dumb. It's just dumb. I see you shimmying around a lot. I'm not gonna loosen the ropes because you don't deserve to be comfortable. So you're gonna have to deal with your cool new scars. You should have been wearing a long-sleeved shirt, you idiot. Another thing about Pokemon, so we're come around on the idea of a black and white remake. It's finally black and white's turn. Unova. I like Unova quite a lot. I've always really liked Unova. The thing I liked about it especially is the fact that during the base gameplay, you could only use new Pokemon. There were no returning Pokemon, and that was so fun. I loved having to use new Pokemon. Thank you. It looks like somebody has has donated something, and I appreciate it. Or followed. That's all right. Anyway, Pokemon. So the topic of a remake is coming on in with Gen 5, and I've seen people go, well, don't we need one? Does Black and White need a remake? And I'm like, yeah, why not? Fuck off. It's a sprite game. I'd love if for basically the open world and cool graphics of Scarlet Violet, but it's Unova. I want to see Lenora in 3D. She'd look fucking stunning. All of them would. So, and I think there are ways that we could really simplify some things that weren't done right, enhance things that could have, maybe weren't, explored as much as they could have been. And especially, you know what I want? All right, spoilers. I'm gonna spoil Arceus Legends a little bit for you. In Arceus Legends, Ingo has fallen to the past. That's one of the train twins. They're actually subway twins, but that's one of the twins. And I gotta say that's tragic. You don't separate twins. That's heinous. Only a villain would do that. Stop squirming so much, jeez. But Ingo is in the past, and that's never resolved. I thought that what would happen was you would make a train with Ingo, and he'd take you on a subway back home to the present. Because you were also from the present, you fell into the past. So I want a Unova remake, and I want them to acknowledge that. Even if, and that can either be Ingo being AWOL, and Emmett acknowledges that it's like, we don't know where my brother went, or Ingo can be back, but it's like he's different. It's like he went missing for a while, and he talks about these like, things from like years ago. I don't know what's going on with him, and imply like, oh cool, he made it back. I think that'd be cool and awesome. And that's what I want. But also, I absolutely think that I'm baffled that it's even a question. Should Black and White even have remakes? Yes, because you know why? Ignoring everything else, it's because they're on the DS. I don't play my DS anymore. I look at the screen and I need like, I already wear glasses usually. I would need like those magnifying glasses you see on Tinkerers and fantasy shit, where they've got like magnifying glasses that they like blink down, because I can't see. It's the tiniest screen in ever. It's so tiny. And also, since it's on the DS, you can't trade Pokemon because they shut down the DS's like internet doodly-doo. So yeah, if someone wants to have the full experience for Black and White, and then we need to remake it. And I think it could just be really swell and fun and cool. So yeah. Also, there's a ton of really cool characters in Black and White. So Roxy was really cool. I like Roxy a lot. Hang on. I need water. Let me do a fun ASMR and make a lot of noise right into the microphone with that. Is that what people like? Is that how you ASMR? I don't know. Oh yeah, N. N's also there. I honestly forgot about N, but N is swell. I like that guy a lot. He's neato. I like his hair. So, I keep saying we need more green-haired characters. We need more green-haired characters in anime in general. So, that's my thoughts about Pokemon right now. Oh, also, speaking of Arceus Legends, so I'd love for us to get another Legends game as well. And damn right I want it to be Unova Legends, because it'd be cowboys. And I want that. I want characters running around being cool cowboys. And maybe also Native Americans, but they have to do it in a culturally correct way. So, I don't know, maybe they would just avoid that. I don't know, but at least cowboys are cool, and I like cowboys, and we could have like one samurai who's like visiting from like Kanto or something, because cowboys and samurai did exist at the same time in history. Fun fact. So that's I fucking want that so bad. Also because Unova needs help. Unova is America. But it's like, the legendaries suck. Nothing about the legend. We've got fucking djinns. Oh, yeah, America, with all of its djinn related. We care about djinns so little, people know them as genies. And then the other ones, we got the Three Musketeer, like, dog, horse guys, like Virizion and Cabalion, and that's a French tale. What? So yeah, we need to have Unova Legends so we can get our ding-a-dang legendaries sorted. We can have, like, America's got things. Why don't we have like a Bigfoot Pokemon? Or at least they gave us aliens. They did give us BGM, or no, BGM and LGM. Because America is seemingly the only country that actually cares about aliens. Oh my gosh, that could be the plot. So the plot is, if we're cowboys running around and being cowboys. You know, that is actually, if they do manage to incorporate Native Americans appropriately into the game, Native American like culture could translate into some super fly Pokemon legendaries. Zapdos is basically already Thunderbird, so that could be just hella cool. But anyway, what the plot should be. So, in Unova Legends, it's cowboys running around being cool cowboy guys, doing whatever cowboy shit. Okay, but the goal, the plan, the plot, we go to space. Because that's what America has. It's cowboys in space. And then we can have, like, cowboys versus aliens, cowboy alien space plot, and plus one hot samurai. I don't know who I would pick to be the hot samurai. Like their ancestor. Because most of the important characters are based off of characters from, like, the games, like their ancestors and everything. And I don't know who I would pick to be the hot samurai boy. Maybe Grimsley, that could be cool, but I don't know. That would be really fun. But I guess if they didn't do Unova Legends. So there's a part of me that thinks Johto Legends could be cool, if only because I quite like the aesthetic of Johto. Johto is the one that has, like, all the cherry blossoms and a lot more shrines. So, it would be stunning. Let's be honest. It would be gorgeous. Though I am averse to picking Johto or Kanto, because those are the two that definitely have gotten to play the most. Hoenn would be the worst option. Hoenn would be boring as sin. Hoenn Legends, we've got that. We've seen it. Sinnoh is, like, that's the thing with Sinnoh Legends, or Arceus Legends rather. It's Sinnoh, and Hoenn doesn't have enough, like, unique geographies to work with versus Sinnoh. Like, it still has the same, like, marshes and forests, so it visually doesn't look all that interesting, and there's no historical kind of thing to work with in, like, IRL Hoenn, because they already did that with the games. Hoenn's big thing was they tried to expand the land. They tried to add to the land because Japan was growing and they needed more land for more buildings, and so that's what they tried to do. That didn't work. They ended up building up. It was a much smarter idea, and we already did that. That's the plot of the normal games, so there's no point in doing Hoenn, so Hoenn would be stupid. We've already done Sinnoh. Unova would be the best, and then all the others feel too recent. Alola could be interesting for sure. Alola could be really interesting, actually, and we could still get a cowboy because it's connected to America, because it's Hawaii, which is part of America. But they have such their own distinct culture. I definitely wouldn't expect it to be a bunch of cowboys running around and such. But yeah, Alola could be really interesting. Kalos, I think, could be fun. Unfortunately, France's history is sorted, to put it nicely. I don't really think we'd be running around doing Marie Antoinette things, you know what I'm saying? But I do think the fashion, that's the thing. I'm just thinking about what everyone would be wearing, and it's like, everyone would look super fly. So, I think Allison is home, which means I'm gonna leave you all here. Sorry for interrupting your music. I'll come back, and maybe I will take the ropes off of you next week, but you have to behave, and you can't be loud again. So, you only get to be free if you behave. And you haven't been behaving, so you don't get dinner. Okay, so I'll put the music back on, and I hope you enjoy sitting in the darkness listening to music. Okay, here's that music for you, and goodbye.